hearts get broken. I don't wanna be alone. I don't wanna be alone. When it ends, don't wanna let you know. I don't wanna be alone, but I can feel it take a hold. I can feel you take control. For who I am and all I've ever known. Loving is the antidote, golden. You're so golden. I don't wanna be alone. You're so golden. You're so golden. Out of my head, and I know that you're scared because hearts get broken. You're scared because I'm so open. You're so golden. I don't wanna be alone. You're so golden. You're so golden. You're so golden. Out of my head, and I know that you're scared because hearts get broken.
We're going to take a lot of hate. We're going to be sued every day, numerous times. I think you'll see the left try to control the media. They're going to show the first crying female, first crying child, and say how inhumane we are. But they won't talk about 340,000 children that they've failed to take care of. They're not going to talk about the young women who have been murdered in this country at the hands of criminal cartels. They're not going to talk about the hundreds of angel moms and dads who buried their children. You want to talk about family separation? They buried their children because their children were killed by a member of a criminal cartel or someone that's not supposed to be here. They'll tell one side of the story. They'll try to vilify us, but they're not going to stop us from doing our job. I don't care what the media says about me. If they saw what I saw in 34 years, saw the tragedies I've dealt with in 34 years, they would certainly understand me. They may not still like me, but there's a reason why we do what we do. Yeah. I'm tired of women being raped, making that journey. I'm tired of dead children. I'm tired of women and children being sex trafficked. On this administration, sex trafficking is up 600% of women and children. We have a record number of people on the terrorist watch list being arrested. Historic record. 3,500% increase. Record number of Americans dying of fentanyl. We got a record number of cartel members that have entered this country. You know, the criminal cartels in Mexico are making more money than they've ever made in smuggling aliens, trafficking in women and children, and moving dope. So, hate all you want. Push the misinformation out all you want. We're not going to slow down. We're not going to go away. We're going to get this done.
You're done. You're fucking done. This guy ain't playing with you. And as far as the children, the children. I don't want to hear about the children because you wanted my children took away from me over a fucking vaccine. So fuck those children. Fuck these people. They can all go home. They can take their children with them. We're done with this. We don't care how many crying children you put up there. We don't care. I don't care how many women you have crying on their eye. We don't care. Nobody cares. They're all going home. Goodbye. See you later. You have hardened my heart. Your ruthlessness towards me has hardened my heart. You're laughing at people not being able to pay their bills and afford groceries. You thought it was funny. You thought it funny, people losing their jobs over vaccines. You thought it was funny. You wanted to deny medical coverage and you wanted to do all these things. Well, now go fuck yourself. You made life so hard voting for that fucking clown. Go sit down and shut the fuck up. Because it's not going to work this time. It's not going to work. I think they realize that because, well, none of them's here. They know they don't got nothing. They know nobody cares anymore. They know they push things a little too far and they're defeated. They don't want to argue with you anymore. They want to hide somewhere and run away from people. Because all they're going to hear from people is, hey, what about this? What about this? Hey, what about the pardons? And what about this? And what about that? They've been so wrong that they're all in hiding. I seen little Junie say, I'm thinking about doing a live stream. Did you see that? Of course you didn't see it because you don't sub it. The guy's got 30 subs. Shit cracks me the fuck up, bro. People got no sense whatsoever. You got 30 subs and you make a post to your 30 subs. Hey, I'm going to do a live stream. Hey, brother, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's even watching. You don't have a following to be making announcements about an upcoming stream. Nobody watches your shit. Can these people get a little bit of awareness, get a little clue here? Just do the stream. You need to get people. You ain't even got them yet. You announcing some shit to who? Who the fuck cares? People need a fucking reality check. I swear to God. They didn't want to tell me how I'll get views and this and that. Get your own goddamn views first. Why don't you get some fucking views? Why don't you get somebody to watch you? Nobody's watching. I told him, I said, why don't you come on a channel that actually has viewers? Oh, because you'll get destroyed. You'll get destroyed worse than you've ever got destroyed. Because everything you've been lying about for the past 4 years, it's all exposed now. Good luck getting any of them to get on a fucking Discord again. Good luck getting any of them to fucking defend this shit. Harry only does it because he's paid to do it. He's paid a lot of money to go on these shows and make a fool of himself. They're just waiting on a video. You see, they were latching onto that fake story about ICE going to the high school. Turned out to be fake. They're desperate for something like that. And I don't even know why you're desperate for it, because guess what? I hope they go into the school and get all the illegals out. I hope every illegal goes home. The men, the women, and the children. This is called payback. I told you this was going to happen to you, didn't I? I told you every damn day. Live stream after live stream with me telling you that eventually someone's going to come along and they're going to fuck you up. The whining turned out it was Trump again. Turned out it's Trump. Because you've attacked Trump so hard that you've hardened his heart. You've hardened his heart. We're all done with you. So cry about it all you want. Show a crying child. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You people have made it harder for people with children to take care of them, to see them because they got to work so much. That's what you did to American citizens with your dumb vote for Biden, your childish vote for Biden. Everyone knew that Biden was not the better choice in 2020, but you had to put your ego first. Your crybaby bullshit had to matter more than people's lives. Same with the COVID bullshit and the lockdowns and all that. Your fear and paranoia and virtue signaling mattered more than people's lives. And you people had to bury their family members and say goodbye over FaceTime and all those things. So now, 4 years after that, now people see an opportunity for revenge. It's the closest they're going to get to it, and they're going to take it. They're going to take it. They're going to take whatever they can get. So my advice would be change your tactics. The tactics you used in the previous administration with Trump, it's not going to work this time. The guilt tripping, the shaming, it's not going to work. It's a waste of time. I'm just trying to give you advice. If you want to be a little bit more effective as a leftist, you're going to have to change the tactic. You're going to have to realize that people on the right don't give a shit what you think. They don't give a fuck about your shaming. They realize that you're terrible pieces of shit. You're horrible people. We've seen it out of you time and time again. You've showed us your true colors. So there's no reason to think that you could shame someone. It's actually laughable that you even try to do it anymore. Makes me laugh every time one of you all try to shame somebody, play these games you do. Well, what about those innocent children? Oh, it's just like he said. What about the children that were trafficked and all that shit? The 300,000 missing children that you lost. Your president couldn't find them. What about that? See, we're adults and we know the reality of the situation on the border, and we know the open border, what it leads to, and children are abused and everything else. And we also know that the only way to really stop what's going on at the border is we got to deport everybody. We got to deport the men, the women, and the children. Why? Because we have to show the world we're done with this. You're not coming here. You're not illegally coming here. So it'll stop. If there's always a little loophole, like I'll come over the border and I'll fucking squat a kid out, I'll shit a kid out, and the kid's American now, and da 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 da. If there's always some little loophole, they're always gonna come, which leads to more women getting raped, kids getting raped, murdered, all kinds of shit going on. The whole thing needs to stop. Don't you realize that? All this illegal immigration has to stop. And the only way to stop it is you have to get serious. And so you cannot grant amnesty. Don't you get that? How stupid that would be? Well, we're going to give them amnesty. No, we're not doing amnesty. We're not doing a special program where you get to be here because you've been here so long, so you get to. No, we're done with all that. They're going home. So go ahead and get over it now. Because I don't care. Don't think you can come in my streams and guilt trip me with your emotions. I don't care. I'm emotionless to this. Don't care. I will not be manipulated by someone who I feel is beneath me. And I feel every leftist, little Democrat fuck is beneath me as a person. Morally, I feel you're a terrible human being. I've seen too much out of you people to think you're not. So you cannot shame me, and I don't care about your guilt tripping. Don't give a fuck. It's like I was telling my girlfriend, we were talking about it in the car the other day. She was like, there's a lot of people that are illegal. I knew them. They're good people and everything. And I'm like, that's great and everything. But they're not entitled to our country. You got to change your mindset on this. You got to stop thinking emotionally about this. And you got to realize these people are not entitled to our country. This is our country. It's not theirs. And there's a process to come here legally. And if we're not going to enforce the law, why even have why even have laws? This ain't about being mean. It's not about being racist. Grow up. This is about being an adult, acting like an adult, running a country like an adult. Are we adults or are we children? I've talked about this many times. This country has to grow up, and I think it's finally growing up. And that's because of 4 years of suffering. 4 years of suffering has caused people to go, we've got to grow up. I said this was going to happen. I said people have to suffer before they will change, before they will start to grow up and realize all this stupid bullshit about Nazis and racism and blah, 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 is all retarded. Abortion, all this dumb shit. When are you going to grow up and act like a serious person, act like an adult, and talk about real things? Be focused on real shit. Real issues, not this stupid shit. Not, oh, men need to be. The fact that our country is having this debate about whether or not men could be in women's sports and men could be in the bathroom and all this fucking retarded shit. By the way, the debate's over. You lost. We think you're weird. Country voted on it. You're done. People are done with it. But the fact that it ever went on shows how ridiculous this place is. And there's millions of you motherfuckers that got to get a grip and knock it off. They're on Twitter all day. Look at the price of eggs. Look at the price of gas. I mean, this is embarrassing shit. This is the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen in my life. Every time Trump does anything, they're like, now how does this get the price of eggs down? Like, these people need a reality check, okay? I don't think anybody's told them this yet or anything, but I keep hearing this every day. Trump ain't got the prices down yet. Oh, he ain't got the prices down. He ain't got the prices down. You voted for to get the prices down, right? And it's like, no, 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 no. You're confused. Let me help you. You're confused. Why would I vote for the candidate that caused the prices to go up? What sense does that make? I had two options in the election, Trump or Kamala. If I'm voting because of the prices, why would I vote for the person that did that? My only real option is to vote for the guy that's calling it out and saying, I'll do what I can to get it down. I'll do everything I can to get those prices down. I'll start a team. I'll get a team of people to investigate every possible method we can use to get them down. And I'm hearing that and I'm saying, sounds good to me. I know he doesn't have a magic fucking wand. I'm not a child. Nor do I think like a child. Sorry that you do. Sorry that you think like a little kid. But Trump don't have a magic wand that he gets in office and he waves it and these prices go down. You voted for a guy. You fucked everything up. You got a lot of nerve even running your fucking mouth. Why don't you go sit your stupid ass down somewhere? The first liberal that is brave enough to come on this Discord is going to get it. You're going to get, I'm going to light your ass up. I want to hear you. Don't come in here with that bullshit about, oh, he said he gets the president. Oh, light your ass up. I know it sounds real good on MSNBC. Don't bring it to me. I'll slap taste out of your mouth. I'll embarrass you. Don't even try it. And none of you will. I think you've got enough sense to know you're thoroughly fucking defeated. Judy's going to live stream to 30 subs. Half of them are Duckhead. Incredible. Real riveting stuff. Guy's soft as a pillow. He's like, somebody called me a pedophile in the chat. Oh no, Junie, it's the internet. The horror. The horror, Junie. Hey, Junie, weren't you calling all those people Nazis, though? Didn't you start it? Didn't you start name calling? We got people leaving the Discord because of Elon Musk. This shit is so funny, dude. Like, I'm not going to be in there if people are going to defend a Nazi salute. It's just, people crack me up how, like, this virtue signaling shit they do. There's nothing worse than this faggot ass virtue signaling. This, somebody said the N word. Oh, God, I got to make a scene about, you know what I mean? Let me make a scene. Let me start lecturing everybody in the room. I'll just sit down, brother. Even black people are going off. Here we go. Don't you white people understand that? Don't you realize that all this virtue signaling, even black people are just rolling their eyes at you? That just stop, just stop. All that virtue signaling. Well, somebody made a joke about George Floyd. This is horrible. I can't believe. And it's like, oh, here we go. He's going to give us a lecture about it. Like I seen a video of that hairy dude, and there was like I don't remember who it was, but he was saying the N word. I think some white dude or something. He was saying something. I don't know if it was the N word. It was something he was saying. And Harry was so offended. I mean, he was making a big scene about it, and it's just like, Harry, grow up. Just grow up, Harry. Oh, Harry's got to tell everybody how he. I don't agree with this guy saying this. Nobody said you did, Harry. No, nobody even thought that, Harry. Nobody tuned in and thought this guy here. You're clearly arguing with the guy, and everyone knows who you are. They know you're a super liberal guy, so it's so gay and cringe that fucking nonsense. Like you got to make a scene. Like, oh hey, I'm better than everybody. Hey, hey. It's not enough that you just don't say it. You just it's not your thing. No, you got to make a scene. You got to stand up and grandstand about how look at me. I not only do I not say it, I yell at people when I hear it. I get mad at them. I scream at them. It's like, oh God, you're so great. Oh yeah, it was Nick Flint. Yeah, you're so great. Like I hear a white guy say the N word, I don't even care because I'm 37 years old. Why would I? You ever played Call of Duty? Like, what is? Who cares? Like, people go, oh, I can't believe. Oh my God, this guy said the N word. It's a white guy said the N word. It's like he does it all the time. He's just doing it for attention. Like, who cares? He's doing it just to get a rise out of you. Like, why don't you just relax? I mean, a grown ass man having a meltdown because he hears a word. He's not even black. You're not even black. What are you so offended about? You're not even black. Ain't even a black guy in the room. I don't even. Who's offended here? Who cares? Who really cares? Yeah, Nick Flint is just. He's a little gay. He's always telling people. He's like telling these guys. He makes some weird post about having a girlfriend and shit. Like he's telling these dudes not to get a girlfriend and shit. Not to get married. All these guys telling these men never get married, don't get a girlfriend and shit. They're weirdos, bro. And the way it's what I'm trying to explain to you about the fresh and fit guys. Like, eh, you guys think that these guys get a bunch of bitches because they got fancy cars and they got some jewelry on or they got this or that. They just fuck basically prostitutes, bro. They fuck gold diggers because they got money, but they don't know nothing about a woman. Try being broke and getting women. So you have to get them with. You don't have things to flash at them like, look at my car, look at all this money I got. That's easy. It's easy. You don't have all that. And then these guys get all these women around them because they got all this rich fucking shit, and they think they're like some type of ladies' man. Where nah, these bitches are using you, bro. I think a lot of these men figured out, like that Dan Bazarian guy. Remember, he used to fuck all these women. And last time I seen an interview with him, he was like, he's like, I don't do that no more. I think he was like celibate and shit. But he was talking about how like, nah, because there must come a realization after you have sex with all the hot women and all that, and you have all the fun and stuff. There must come a time where you go, man, if I didn't have all these money, these bitches wouldn't even be here. And nobody really fucks with me as fuck with the money. We're on a yacht, we party and everything. I got drugs and alcohol, and that's why these women are here because there's drugs, there's alcohol. We're on a yacht, and so they're like, "Yeah, I'll fuck this guy and party all fucking week. Yeah, fuck it. It's better than going to work." But eventually, as the man, you got to realize, what the fuck is it? What am I even doing? How much pussy can you get before you say enough? With none of these women would be in a gutter with you. If you've never had a bitch in the gutter with you, then I don't want to hear you talk about how to get women. I don't even want to hear it. Let me know when you got a bitch down in the gut, you in the gutter, and you got some bitch in there. You know who you should get advice on how to get women from? Them homeless motherfuckers you see with a bitch standing on the side of the road with them. Like, damn, what the fuck? He knows the secret. It's drugs. He's got drugs. It's meth. If you get a meth pipe and get some bitch hooked on it, she'll sleep on the sidewalk with you, apparently. Maybe not the best to get advice from. Destiny's apparently going to prison. He fucking leaked some girl's nudes. By the way, what's with all these women fucking day? It's insane. It's insane. If that doesn't tell you that you can't get no pussy, I mean, he's getting it. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm saying. If you just go to the gym and like have just a regular ass job, it should be no reason you ain't getting no pussy. Just, I mean, this nerd's getting it, and he's just some scrawny, fucking weird, fucking bisexual nerd. He's banged some hot. I mean, some of these girls he's fucked pretty hot because he's got money. But these women, some of these women, he's fucking got money. Laura Southern got money. Destiny's a master of manipulation. That's what Destiny's. That's how Destiny's getting these women. 100%. He's manipulative. He manipulated probably after they broke up with their boyfriends or something. He plays that I'm the nice guy. I'm your friend. He sits in the friend zone until it's time to strike. He's one of those guys. And women put him in the friend zone because he's so unsuspecting. Like they would never, like they think I never do nothing with Destiny. What the hell? But they do. In a moment, they're vulnerable, they're devastated, and that's when he makes his move. I mean, I read the Discord DMs. It's obvious what he does. Well, she's in there talking about, broke up with my boyfriend. Oh, here we go. Larson was like, I thought she was my friend. She was venting to me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine being naive. Picture saved on the phone.
We're going to take a lot of hate. We're going to be sued.
Got the picture saved. You believe that? You believe that? Got the picture saved on there. In a full blown marriage with the picture saved. Oh, you knew. Knock it off. Knock it off, Larson. You knew the whole time. My girl would kill me and that bitch. I don't even fucking talk to nobody else. The hell with it. I don't need no drama. I don't need it. That girl's boyfriend, imagine if he saw the texts that she's sending you. Man, next thing you know, see, this is why I can spiral out of control. You young men don't think because you've never. I've been through this. I've done this to myself, so I know. I know it's a bad idea. It can all spiral out of control. This whole thing. It's about. It only takes the boyfriend finding the messages, and then he's blowing up your phone. He's contacting you, or maybe he goes and finds your wife and tells your wife about it. Because in his mind, you're fucking it. Now, you're not fucking his girl, but he thinks you are. That's why it's a dangerous game. It's why you just don't. That's why you follow the Mike Pence rule. If there's not another girl or another guy, whatever, then there's no drama to be had. There's nobody to be jealous over. They don't exist. You either value your wife's feelings or you don't. It's real simple. Relationships are real simple. They're not difficult. You either value that person's feelings or you don't. And if you don't, you'll do shitty things, and you won't give a fuck. I mean, you more concerned with the coworkers' feelings than your wife's. You're like, I don't want to be mean. Oh, bro, cares. It's okay though. You'll get the reality check. Like, let me tell you how this is going to go. Okay, let me paint this picture for you. You ready for this? I've lived this. I've lived it, so I know what it feels like. You're going to be in this situation. You ready for this? The coworker is going to send you a picture, something big titty picture, something. Now, even if you fuck her or don't, fucking her, that part's irrelevant. Whether you fuck her or not is completely irrelevant. Doesn't even matter, actually, because your wife's going to find something. She's going to find something related to that girl. Somehow she's going to find it. And then she's going to think you fucked her. She's just going to think you did. And you're going to be sitting there going, I didn't fuck her. I didn't fuck that girl. I just talked to her. I swear to God, I didn't fuck her. And maybe we shouldn't have talked. Maybe some of the conversation was inappropriate, but I didn't do nothing. And you're going to be begging this girl to understand you did not fuck this girl, but she's going to think you fucked this girl. And you're going to feel even dumber because you should have just fucked her then, because now you're going to realize I didn't fuck the girl, but my wife thinks I fucked the girl. So not only did I not get some strange pussy, but now I got to deal with this. Now I got to deal with this shit. And your wife's going to be devastated. She's just going to be looking at you like, what the fuck, man? Why? And she'll be depressed and feeling like shit about herself. And she'll start asking you weird questions. She'll say, I mean, God forbid she sees the girl. She's going to be so insecure. She's going to be saying, oh, man, she'll be just saying weird shit. Should I get a boob job? And she'll be like, what the fuck is going on? You did it. You did it. You'll have to live with it. And it'll keep coming up. When y'all fight, it'll come up. That big boob coworker is going to come up every single fight. You have to hear about it. And every time it comes up, you're going to think, God, I didn't even fuck that girl. Didn't even fuck her. Wasn't even trying to really flirt with her. I mean, yeah, I thought about it, but But you thought about it, and that's where you made a mistake. You thought about it. I advise block that girl. Never communicate with her again outside of work. Make it clear to her that you're married and you want nothing. Like you just don't want to have any type of text conversation. You just don't want to deal with it. If you have to, lie and say, "Hey, my wife saw that text, and she kind of felt a certain way about it. I think we don't even. You got this woman shouldn't even be bitten to you. That's insane to me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Why would you even? I can't imagine being at work, having listen to some bitch cry about her life, and I'm not even getting to fuck her, or we don't even do. You know what I mean? She's nothing to me. She's some coworker. I got to listen to her bitch about her life. I listen to podcasts and shit while I work. I ain't listen to some bitch catching up on the news and shit. I ain't listen to some bitch fucking ramble on about fucking. I've been listening to Jesse Lee Peterson. Like it's so fucking funny, dude. Some guy called in the other day. Okay, he goes, I've been at work, and he's telling Jesse all about this stuff. I've been changing my life, and I'm at work, and while I'm working, I'm thinking about, the future, thinking about all the things I'm going to do, thinking about starting a business, and then Jesse goes, he's like, what do you think about that, and then Jesse goes, he's like, those thoughts are from the devil. He's like, you shouldn't even be doing that. You don't need to be at work thinking about the future and shit. He's like, that's all the devil's thought. All those thoughts are from the devil. He's like, you just need to work. Um, he's like, it's not even fair to your job too. You get back to work. Quit thinking about that. You thinking about the future. He told this bitch today. He was like, or it was some guy. The guy was so confused. He's like, you shouldn't be thinking about the past. You shouldn't be thinking about the future. He said, anytime you're thinking about that, you're with Satan. Like, what the fuck? This guy was like, what? It was so fucking funny. He was talking about that guy. You seen this video of this guy? He's like, I'm the last member of my family. Everybody else is dead. You seen that video? They was talking about it on the show today. It was funny as hell. Jesse was like, he ain't got a friend or nothing. He ain't got like a woman. He was like a prostitute. And he goes, a slut. He said he sounded like mama, crying like mama. That was a weird video. It's a weird ass video to make. My whole family's dead. I don't have nobody. Like, damn, bro, shit. Came to TikTok to find somebody. Please. He's like, if I died, nobody'd even know I existed. Like, damn. No friend, nothing? You don't know nobody? You find that hard to believe. You don't know nobody. On the face of the earth, nobody knows who the fuck you are. Everybody's dead that knew you, and you're just some guy that people see, but they don't really know who the fuck he is. People see you in the store and shit. But who the fuck are you? I don't know. Nobody knows. We're supposed to believe that. Dude, Jesse was clowning him so fucking hard. So he sounded like mama, crying like mama. But it's funny as hell when these people call in with their problems and shit. or they call in, they think they got it all figured out, and he's like, "Oh God, you're a mess." This one dude called in was asking about like Jesus. Is Jesus the son of God? Or no, is Jesus God? Or Jesse don't believe Jesus is God. Like, and he was like, it's like I go to church and they say one thing. And Jesse was like, well, why do you listen to them? Who gives a shit? Oh my God, when he was talking about that preacher that was chastising Trump, that shit was so funny. There's probably video of that, honestly. It's worth watching. He's like, Trump should have got up and called her a bitch, gave her the finger and left. There's got to be a clip of that. Some dude was talking about his mama, something mama's running his life, yada, yada, yada. And then he was like, you need to tell mama to sit down. He said, even Jesus told mama to sit down. He said, Mary, sit down. Sit your ass down.
During the inauguration ceremony, there was a time when they had a little event at a Catholic church there in D.C., I guess. Yeah, D.C. And they had a female preacher, so-called female preacher. Female preachers are just an illusion, by the way. It's not real. Just because the people say they're female preachers doesn't mean that they really are. But they had a female Catholic preacher who was as thick as the Pope. And it was disgusting. It was hell on earth. I really thought when watching this, or while watching this, I thought Donald Trump literally and his whole administration, his family and everybody should have just gotten up and walked out. There would have been nothing wrong with that. While this female up talking her evil mess, her wicked language, her wicked words, they should have just gotten up and walked out. There was no reason, no obligation to sit there and let the daughter of Satan speak lies. And then I saw later on CNN talking about compassion, mercy or something. This woman wouldn't know mercy if it slapped her in the face. But Donald Trump really should have just walked out. Oh, I'm being told that it was an Episcopalian preacher woman, not a Catholic. Why she had on Catholic clothes? Why did she have on Catholic clothes? Because she made herself look like a Catholic instead of an Episcopalian. So this was an Episcopalian woman calling herself a preacher. Episcopalian. You said Episcopalian? Oh, okay, I'm listening in my ears right now. And my producer told me it wasn't a Catholic woman, it was a Episcopalian woman. No wonder. Wonder. What? Episcopalian. Episcopalian. She was pissed because she wasn't compelling. Whatever. They should have walked out on her. Whatever it was. Really, the president should just say, okay, gang, let's go. In case you missed it, this is from the Hill. The Reverend, so-called Reverend, I say co-called Reverend, of the National Cathedral Prayer Service for the inauguration called on President Trump. So, Derek, isn't Cathedral is a Catholic church? Oh, okay. No, not necessarily, he's telling me. So this so-called reverend, no such thing as a real female reverend. God does not use females to lead, by the way. The so-called reverend at the National Cathedral Prayer Service for the inauguration called on President Trump to have mercy on transgenders, children, and immigrants, family, in her quote-unquote sermon on Tuesday. Watch this from X.
In the name of our God, I ask you
She's talking about Satan,
to have mercy upon the people
her God.
in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
Look at it.
Some
JD like,
who
what
fear
the-
for their lives. The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful
She's talking about Satan.
to the stranger for the good of all people and the world. Amen.
Trump literally should have given her the finger while walking out. Really? Oh, okay. Bye, bitch. And just walked out. Because that's evil. That's evil on earth. And you cannot play with evil. Evil made a promise that it's going to rob, steal, and kill, and destroy. This woman is evil. This female woman is evil. Pure evil. And so Trump, the Great White Hope, responded to this female on Truth Social. Watch this from Fox News.
Joe, the president has already responded to this, saying, quote, the so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. So I guess there's a first time for everything, including being attacked at church.
Amazing. This is why men, preacher men, policemen, president men, whatever men, you're not supposed to put women in leadership. This is what you get. They don't know how to lead in the right way. They really just don't know because they're like into their imagination and emotions. They just don't know they're evil. He should not have put her up there. Whoever put her up there. But he should have just given her the finger and left. Really. He would have not been wrong. You got to say no to the devil. You got to say no to the devil. In the same way, if you want to be free, but if you don't want to be free, you don't have to. You have to resist temptation of thoughts. You have to say no to the devil. The devil operates in your mind by tempting you with thoughts and feelings. And you got to say no. Get behind me, devil. He really should have just given her the finger. He would not have been
Larson?
wrong.
Get behind me,
And
devil.
the whole world would applaud him for it. What a mess. Thank God that he made our bodies the church. And in that body, you should worship him within. Amazing stuff, huh? What a wicked female. A daughter of the devil. I told you that the evil come through the woman until she repent and return to the Father. And that's why they're putting women in all these places, because they know that evil come through the woman. They know it. And then they make the woman look like the victim, so you can't, don't tell the woman the truth. Don't be hard on the woman. Don't be hard on Satan, they are saying. This woman is evil, pure evil, standing as an Episcopalian church. Of all time to put the devil up there, they did. They chose that moment and promoted evil. This woman has no mercy. No, she doesn't know what love is, has no love. She doesn't care two pennies about the illegal aliens or anyone else, and especially the American citizens, because otherwise you've been thinking Trump. If she put home first, so I'm being told that Tucker Carlson was raised Episcopalian, and he joked that it's not like real Christianity. Evidently. But Trump responded to her. She talked about some in Jesus' name. Amen. What the? That's what Joel Friday is telling me. This is evil. And this is in the pulpit of the churches now where you put women up there. Satan worked through them, and that's why the church is weaker. The church is not getting stronger under the leadership of females, so-called leadership. They're getting all the churches, Baptist, Catholic, Episcopalians, Mormon, Alawaba churches, or however the churches out there, Satan churches, the atheist churches, they're all weaker now. They're not stronger. The whole country is weaker as you put women in leadership. You're trying to make something work that is not going to work, can't work, and the ladies that are waking up, they know it. They'll tell you. In the good old days, women would say, no, I don't want to work for no woman. I'm not going to work for a woman, they say.
Expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape. We could get people back building as fast as possible. And we're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, the one thing is they are
Yes.
saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That
you're
will
right.
not, you can hold me to it.
Because 4 groups said that.
No,
That would be, they should
No,
be able to
that-
do it. They should be able to start tonight.
that will not be the case. You know, first we have to take care, to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up so that people can start right away. And just like you said, if somebody had their house was destroyed and they're going to rebuild essentially the same, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit higher, they really shouldn't have to go through much of a process. So I want you to know that we are expediting that. We absolutely need your help. We need the federal help. You're a
You got it.
builder.
I told you, you will have no permit problem. There will be 0 delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits.
And
But
the resource.
I am more worried because I met at least 8 groups of homeowners, and I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly, and they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste. What's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Okay, good.
You can come back and check.
It's very
Mr. President?
Do what you're told. Do what you're told, bitch. We're starting tonight. Resign. The whole town burned down. Resign.
So I
some
signed
decency.
executive directives right away.
Have some fucking decency. A little Fauci got his security detail took away. Oh, poor guy. Oh. Now, why would he need security anyway? What did he do? Did he do something to people? Did Anthony Fauci do something? I thought he was a hero or something. Hmm. Ah. Oh, he said, would you feel responsible if something happened? And he was like, no. Nobody gives a fuck. Pay for your own security. We're done with it. And they lied about the fucking ICE going into that school. They lied about it. It's a made up story. They're desperate. They're just making shit up now. Just outright making up crazy stories. Fuck it. Hell with it.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt.
The government fears Alex Jones, who has the largest audience in the country, bigger than any of the networks, the biggest megaphone in the country.
The deep state hates Alex Jones.
We're gonna need voter ID or ain't gonna get no. Alex Jones send them no damn money.
So bad. This has been one of the worst. Do a lot for North Carolina. Yeah. They've been very slow. I don't know why it's been so bad. This has been one of the worst I've seen. Katrina, of course, was something that obviously that was a long time ago. That was not good. But this has been very slow. I don't know if that was for political reasons because they lost the state. Biden lost the state. Maybe he felt he doesn't care. Maybe there were other reasons. I don't know. But this has been very slow. By any standard, this has been very slow. And we're gonna make up for lost time.
No conditions. You're going to push for aid.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water. If they released the water, they wouldn't have had a problem. If they released the water when I told them to, because I told them to do it 7 years ago, if they would have done it, you wouldn't have had the problem that you had. You might not have even had a fire. So, but here I don't have that. It's a different thing. You got hit by a storm. The people are incredible. They worked really well. Franklin was fantastic, and other groups. By the way, other groups came in that were also fantastic.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. So help me God. So help me God.
If you don't know what campaign coins are, or an AA,
Ain't that something? Sent the Marines down to that border. We're done with it. You're not coming over here. You're not jumping the goddamn fence. European Union on the verge of unprecedented break with the current climate agenda. Climate change bullshit scam. Trump's killing all this shit. Let's put a stop to all of it. Even in countries that he ain't president of. This shit's so funny.
Government, we took some off other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Would you feel partially responsible if something were to happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No. They all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility. You work for government. We took some off other people too. But
ain't taking responsibility. Fuck them.
Detail for the rest.
Get your own security detail. You pay for it, nerd. You need to pay for it, nerd. Here she is crying like a bitch.
We cannot trust the safety of our country to someone who has demonstrated repeatedly using very bad judgment with alcohol and doing it in ways that truly have incapacitated him. This is not a moment to take that kind of risk with our national security. And I hope that all 53 Republicans are thinking very hard about that. We cannot trust the same.
You're going back to Haiti. Yes, it's out of here. I wonder if they sent him back yet.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti.
You're going back to Haiti, son. So sad.
How are you guys not scared? For your friends that are undocumented, for your parents, for your siblings, for your family. How does that not bother you? How? Just tell me how. How could you walk up there and vote for him after everything he said he was going to do? You think just because you were born here, you're not gonna go through it? He doesn't like you. When are you gonna understand that? Oh my God. Like, it's so scary. It's so scary to know that just at any given moment, you can just be separated from your family. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Because it's the law. Or even you can go too. Who knows? How are you guys not?
My God. Remember that one woman? No cornbread. No corn. No chili peppers. No cha-cha slide.
Relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little things like water. You know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. Relief items which.
Where do I watch this? Give me a link to this. Called that dude a retard.
We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught in the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room so that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we will clear the lots. Absolutely. In the city and in the county. We are working together. Both levels of government are working in unity.
Months? Is it like we that's the answer that we got, and that's what we're all hanging on?
Yes.
So if you're telling us now faster, is it 6 months? Is it, I mean, all of our lives, rents, all this stuff is weighing on this.
6 months is no good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can,
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family,
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
and they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I mean,
an
you have a
emergency
very powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit, and the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last night.
And that was last night.
On that.
We can't even see our homes right now. We are blocked from entering our streets.
Right.
We can't even, this is our first time we saw our house was yesterday.
Trump ain't fucking playing with him. That bitch need to just resign. Because it is going to take 18 fucking months to get a fucking permit. That's what Adam Carolla was talking about. He lives there. He did a whole fucking rant about how it's going to take fucking forever. And she's trying to bullshit and say, no, they can go do it all. Nah. Nah, you lying, bitch. And Hegseth's coming in there. Get over it, nerd. This shit was crazy. Joe Biden inducted into historically black Masonic lodge. Becomes a master Mason Freemason. What in the world? What the fuck? He you know how he got that honor? Because he killed so many people, he did so much damage to the country and to the world that they're like, fuck yeah. You're a master Mason now.
The people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can,
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by
no,
the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2
What about him and Gavin? He say anything about Gavin? Gavin was like kissing his ass. God damn, look at that grip. Trump had that. Man, that's how me grabbing these world leaders' hands. Look at this shit. God damn, look at that. He grabbed his hand so fucking hard. Look at that hand. Jesus Christ.
Are you disappointed voted no?
I didn't even know that. No, I don't know that. I just heard that we won. Winning is what matters, right? So thank you very much, everybody.
Are you disappointed that McConnell voted no?
Peg steps in. McConnell voted no. Get McConnell out of there. Ain't Mitch retiring now? I don't think he's running for re-election. How much time? When's he out of here?
Here's the deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the mustard, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week 1 on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home, and that man is back into the White House, and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about him. Look at it. This is the latest. Look at him. Here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week 1, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, look.
Yeah, Democrats are done. People's jumping off the ship. Stephen A. don't want no. He don't want to look like a clown no more. I told you, everyone's gonna get tired of looking like a fucking dork. This only can go so far for people think about their own credibility and their own reputations. You're embarrassing the fuck out of people being associated with you. They can't be associated with you anymore. You're embarrassing.
A big percentage, I would assume.
We gotta watch this. There's too many clips from this. I mean, it must have been pretty good. See that guy on the Discord? He was like, "Can we talk about something else besides politics?" I mean, can you grow up and act like a fucking grown man? Jesus, brother. It's week 1.
Unfortunately, it's a very sad.
There's serious shit going on. Can't we just talk about some irrelevant bullshit? No.
Unfortunately, it's a very sad period, but what makes you feel good is I met so many of the homeowners, and every one of them, a lot of them, and every one of them said to me they want to rebuild. I said, will you go elsewhere? No, 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 no. It wasn't even like a question. They love the area. They love the people. It's like a family. It's incredible, actually, when you see some things like that. We just left North Carolina, and we had just a similar type of disaster. It was water instead of fire, but boy, that water did damage like I've never seen before. And then you come here and you see this. But the people are so amazing, and your fire department was so beautiful. Every one of them is in perfect physical shape. I said, what do you guys do? They have very high standards, I can tell you. And we took pictures with all of them, but very nicely they gave us a little helmet. And I said, you wear this, huh? Is this real? And they said, yeah. I said, it's awfully heavy. You have to be very strong to wear that. But that's the original, right? So it's pretty good. But I just want to thank everybody. We're going to be with you. Your governor met us at the plane, and we had a good talk, very, very positive talk. We have to work together to get this really worked out. I don't think you can realize how how rough it is, how devastating it is until you see it. I didn't realize, I mean, I saw a lot of bad things on television, but the extent of it, the size of it, we flew over it in a helicopter. We flew to a few of the areas, and it is devastation. It's incredible. It's really an incineration. Even some of the chimneys came down, okay? When you have the chimneys come down, you know that's pretty hot stuff, and a lot of them were down. That was a bad sign, too. But I just want to commiserate, and we're going to celebrate. We'll be back to celebrate one day soon, I hope soon. The federal government standing behind you, 100%. The First Lady and I are in California to express a great love for the people of California. I've had great support always in California. We did very well recently, as you know, relatively speaking, at least I can say. And it's been amazing. I have property in California, not too far away, actually, right up the road in Palos Verdes, a big property. And I've always loved it. I've always loved being here. But we have to grieve for the 28 Californians who have tragically perished. And sadly, you're going to be finding more. And that's going to be very sad, because I know people are missing. And when you look at that kind of incineration, you know what's going to happen. You're going to find some more. But with all that we've gone through, I watched your firefighters, and they were really fighting at a big disadvantage. I got to know a lot of them just now, and they're incredible people. They were so happy. They were saying, congratulations, sir. You know, they're thinking about country maybe even before this location that they all love. But I'm pleased to be joined by many of the great California leaders, both Democrat and Republican. And it's an honor to meet some of you I didn't know, but I know every one of you by name. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. Thank you, Catherine, very much. Mayor Karen Bass. Thank you, Karen. It's nice to meet you. Representatives Jay Obernolte. Where's Jay? Jay, hi, Jay. It's been a tough period, Jay, right? Vince Fong, Kevin Kiley, Vince and Kevin, hi. Hi, Vince. A man I know very well. I know him too well, actually. And I say that actually with love, because he's actually been a great congressman for a long time, and he's a great leader, and he loves the area as much as anybody, right? Daryl. So Daryl Issa, young Kim, congratulations on an excellent career. I appreciate it. Another one I know pretty well is, to put it mildly, is Tom McClintock, and he's been with us for a long time. We have some interesting things going on in Washington, and it's an honor that you guys are here. Thank you, Daryl, very much, Tom. George Whitesides. Good, George. Thanks. It's a great name, too, by the way. Brad Sherman. Oh, I know Brad well. I know Brad, but that's all right. We're on the same side of this one. I know that. We'll work together, Brad, very well. A lot of respect. And Presidential Envoy Rick Grinnell, who's done a fantastic job for me over the years. He was ambassador to Germany, and he was fantastic. So 2.5 weeks ago, over 100-mile-an-hour winds transformed the Palisades fire and other areas, too, into absolute infernos of death and destruction. And this is already the most expensive natural disaster, they say, in American history. That's pretty amazing. The numbers are going to be staggering. Most importantly, we have to get it built, and we have to hopefully find as few people as possible. We have already too many, 28 at least, they say. We're going to work very hard with the mayor, the governor, the supervisor, and everybody, and get the resources behind you. We have some amazing people, and we have some amazing fighters for things like this. I also had the concept of getting some of the best developers in the country. I've had so many calls from developers, and they want to come in. They don't want anything. They just want to come in and help, and they really know how to get things done and get things built. I would ask that the local officials, because we're going to essentially waive all federal permits. We're going to have you go very quickly because a federal permit can take 10 years. We're not going to do that. We don't want to take 10 days. I would. So we're declaring this a national emergency. By doing that, I can give you immediate permits. I'd ask that the local permitting process be the same. Some of the people were saying they're going to be forced to wait 18 months for their permits, and I don't think you're going to do that. I can't imagine that. So they are literally in a position right now they'd like to start tonight, and they'll clean their site, they'll do everything. They just want to start, and they were very concerned with the 18 months. So I'm sure you can get it down to, I would say, not even 18 days. They are ready, Mayor. They are ready to start. I met so many of them. The fire took place. It's nice and cool there now, and they want to start taking the debris. They want to take the debris. They want to do everything. They'll get rid of everything. They're going to do it by their own hand. And you're going to see some amazing things happen. So we're waiving the federal permits. Either waive them or give them to you so rapidly it's going to be essentially the same thing, but we're going to try and just waive them, and we'll rely on the local. But the local, I hope, is going to do the same exact thing. They're literally ready to start right away tonight. So if you could do almost the same thing or the same thing would be great. For a building permit, you're going to have to, check things out a little bit. A lot of them, every single one of them said they're going to rebuild. I didn't have one person say they're selling or they're leaving or they're disgusted. They love their community, and it's incredible. We even had one from your neck of the woods, right? Yeah. Do you want to stand up? It was so nice the way she greeted my wife in a very different language, right? And it was very nice to see. And you're staying, and you're going to rebuild, and everything else. Yeah, everybody. So it's really great. So I'm signing an executive order to open up the pumps and valves in the north. We want to get that water pouring down here as quickly as possible and let hundreds of millions of gallons of water flow down into Southern California. And that'll be a big benefit to you. If you don't want it, you're going to tell me, but I can't imagine it. I tell you who does like it is the fire department. When I said that, they were very happy with that. They didn't mind hearing that. But we have a lot of water that is available, and I hope you can work that out among yourselves. But I think this will show that we have to have that water. We have to have that water. You're talking about unlimited water coming up from the Pacific Northwest, even coming up from parts of Canada. And it pours down naturally. It has for a million years. For a million years, it pours down. You'll never run out. You'll never have shortages, and you won't have things like this. And when you do, you'll have a lot of water to put it out. So I'm going to ask that you figure that out. But I really strongly recommended this 7 years ago, and I think I'm going to just do it. If you have big problems, you're going to let me know, but I just can't even imagine it. But we're also surging federal resources and assistance to the state, and California must adopt the common sense policies to prevent fires, and we all know that. We were talking 7 or 8 years ago, I was talking to people from Austria, people from Finland, people that live in forests. One of the gentlemen, one of the top great leaders of Austria said, we don't have forest fires, and we have trees that are actually far more flammable than they have in California, but they literally rake their forest. They take down, if a tree comes down, they take it down. They say you have 18 months. After that, it's like a matchstick. And I know environmentally, some environmental groups like the trees to just melt into the ground, but when they do melt into the ground, they become an inferno. So I think you're going to have to change your ways in terms of that. You have 30 years of leaves, and those leaves are dry as a bone, and they burn. Interestingly, because I was at Paradise, who is the general, right? Long time ago, I was at Paradise. What a beautiful paradise it was. And how is it doing, by the way? Are they rebuilding, right? Remember when He said, "You were up here, President. I went there. I never saw anything like it. But you know what amazed me? I'll never forget it. The trees were okay because the trees are loaded with water. They sucked that water out of the ground. And this was an inferno, just like, I would say, no different than this. And it was also the wind that caused a lot of problem. I mean, you had tremendous winds that there's not a lot you're going to do with. You had up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's unheard of. But when I was in Paradise, I noticed that the trees, they were dark on the bottom, but they were absolutely living, and they lived because they're soaking wet. But the trees that were on the ground, within 12 to 18 months, they say 18 months at a maximum, you have to cut them up, take them away because they're matchsticks. But we saw that. You saw that with me. I commented at the time. I said, look at this. The house is burned down, and the tree is standing, and it's, other than being a little different color on the bottom, and it went through an inferno. It's amazing. It's soaking wet. So I think they have to do it. It's called management of the floor. And when the gentleman from Austria and also Finland and other countries, they said we manage the forest floor very, very carefully, and we don't have forest fires. You know, they just don't have them. So I'm sure you're going to do the same thing. So there can be no golden age without the golden state. It's a great state. It's a fantastic place, and we're going to have a big celebration soon. We're going to come back, and we'll come back as much as you need, and we're going to turn it around, and we're going to open the coffers. You know, America wants us to be taken care of. This was a horrible thing to watch, and the way it just kept going and going, and then they'd find another area. It was like genius. On the other side, the fire was a genius, the way it kept moving, but we're not going to stand for it. I just met with the Olympic people, and they're all set to do a real job. So we have the Olympics, and I got them. You know, it was very interesting. I made the deal with the Olympics. I was called by your former...
Fox News alert, President Trump speaking at a fire station in L.A. Let's listen in.
I don't know, there was a bad experience somehow. And I did, and I got along great with the Olympic Committee, and we got the Olympics, and then we got you the World Cup. That one I focused on with Gianni. Gianni was great, the head of it, and so you have that coming. And then we have the 250 years coming up, which is going to be a great celebration. But I'll never forget when I got the Olympics, and then I was president when I got them. I said, oh boy, it's too bad I won't be president. Who knew this was going to happen, right? I said, I won't be president because it would have been the 4 years. And in fact, I'd be retired by 4 days right now, I guess, right? So anyway, so I got him, and at least I'll be able to celebrate the Olympics, the World Cup, and the 250 years is going to be a very big deal. So we have the three biggest there are, and it was an honor to get. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you have a statement to make, I'd love to have politically, if you'd like to make a statement. Brad, go ahead.
Mr. President.
Okay. I'll do
Mr. President, thank you
Sure.
for coming
Thank you, Brad.
to the 32nd Congressional District and
Thank you.
making feel most people don't have adequate insurance because they couldn't get it. So one company dropped 1,600 policies just in the last 6 months. We've got 16 times as much property damage here as from Hawaii. And I'm hoping that we get at least 16 times the federal appropriation for the CDBG program that helps people rebuild. And I know you've talked about policies of California that you're not a fan of, but I've been in Congress for 28 years. I really disagree with Louisiana on their abortion policy. I disagree with them on their campaign finance policy. I disagree with North Dakota on their gun policy. And I would never turn to somebody from Louisiana and say, you keep living on your cousin's couch, because we're not going to help you rebuild until Louisiana agrees with me on a woman's right to choose. So I'm hoping that we can get these funds and that we don't punish individuals for the policies of their state. You can disagree with them, and I think you've got some ideas. I look forward to us listening. Also on tariffs, I often agree with you on tariffs, but how about no tariffs on building materials for the next 3 years?
No, we'll take a look at that, actually.
Mr.
We'll
President.
take a look. The mayor, please.
Yes. First of all, let me just take the opportunity to officially welcome you to Los Angeles. Really appreciate you coming, and especially you come just a few days after your inauguration. So
Thank you.
want you to know that your presence here is very much appreciated. Let me also say that I know you had an opportunity to see the devastation. You've seen the extreme loss, the grief that people are going through here. And we are 100% committed to getting this neighborhood rebuilt again. You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape. We could get people back building as fast as possible. And we're going to continue doing that.
Mayor, the one thing is they
Yes.
are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That
you're
will
right.
not, you can hold me to it.
Because 4 groups said that.
No,
That would be, they should
No,
be able
that-
to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
that will not be the case. You know, first, we have to take care, to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up so that people can start right away. And just like you said, if somebody had, their house was destroyed and they're going to rebuild essentially the same, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit higher, they really shouldn't have to go through much of a process. So I want you to know that we are expediting that. We absolutely need your help. We need the federal help. You're a
You got it.
builder.
I told you. You will have no permit problem. There will be 0 delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits.
And the resource.
I am more worried because I met at least 8 groups of homeowners, and I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly, and they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste. What's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Okay, good.
You can come back and check.
It's very
Mr. President?
important. Yes.
I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I represent the areas of Altadena and Pasadena.
Yes.
That's the Eaton fire. And there is a world of hurt there. I know that you've gone to the Palisades and you've seen the devastation,
Right.
but it's apocalyptic in Altadena. And thank goodness I have a partner with Supervisor Catherine Barger in working to help people get back to normal and to rebuild. But right now they have nothing. And there have been 9,500 structures burned. Most of the deaths have occurred in our area with the Eaton fire. And thousands of people are without homes. And these are working people. These are working class people. They are people like Dr. Jackie Jacobs, who was an educator all her life and then finally became the first Black administrator of her educational institution, Pasadena City College, and then retired, now 88 years old, and then her home of 30 years burned in Altadena.
Yeah.
She has nothing. She left with only the clothes on her back. She has nothing. And so they need this help. And I just want to make sure that you remember the people in Altadena and Pasadena, and that you can come there and see how terrible the devastation has been there so that they can get the help that they need.
Just remember one thing, and I like the way you express yourself beautifully, actually, but I've only been here 3 days, and I'll do a great job. But we had another president, and this took place during the life of another president, not me. But I'm going to be the president that's going to help you fix it, because he would not have been able to help you fix it, okay? So we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it, and we'll work closely. Yeah, we'll work closely, and I know your community was really devastated, incredibly, so we understand that. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I'm just going to follow up. Supervisor
Yes, please, go
Barger, and I also represent Altadena, and what I tell people is, people of Altadena are the exact people you talked to when you were running. You've got individuals from every walk of life, and it is actually at one time
he's
was
like, you got to
the only
give
place
voter
African
ID
Americans
or you're not
could
getting
purchase homes. It
shit.
was redlined. And so you've got a lot of generational
They're like,
wealth
"Thank
there.
you,
And one of the
thank you,
commitments I've made and we've had meetings with some of your people in HUD that you've got there now, to work with them and work with your administration to see how we can help. And I've been pleasantly surprised. I know on HUD we've got some asks that we are going to be working with you on. But more importantly, I just really want to emphasize what Congresswoman Chu said, and that is that these are individuals who are feeling forgotten. And what I tell them is, and when we invited you out here, I told, when I went to the AME church, this president was talking to you when he was running. You understand the difficulty in making ends meet. You understand the high cost of living. And now their biggest fear is that that's going to impact their ability to rebuild. And I have made them this commitment, because this is my last term, that for the next 4 years, you talk about 18 months, I've told our county staff that if you're going to get in the way, then get another job. Because we are an all hands on deck. And quite frankly, if the bureaucracy can't get out of the way, we'll just roll over it. And we've said that, and we've made it clear. The governor's waived CEQA, which I feel should be completely reformed, if not eliminated. And if it's being eliminated for this.
How are they doing with CEQA?
How are they doing?
How is it? What's been the attitude of the people running that whole situation?
It adds sometimes years on to an application.
Can't do it. Can't.
No, and the governor's
and
waived,
Coastal Commission also.
He waived that.
We're going to have to override the Coastal Commission, because I've dealt with the Coastal Commission for a long time, and they are considered the most difficult in the entire country. And we cannot have them play their games and wait 10 years to give somebody a permit. In fact, I'm going to override the Coastal Commission. I'm not going to let them get away with their antics.
Well,
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Barry.
You're not getting
Mr.
away
President,
with it.
I just want to thank you for your leadership on California water policy.
The
You made it
king
a
is
priority
here.
from day one. For those of us in
king
the
of
Central
America.
Valley and Northern California,
Go fuck
we
yourself.
have catastrophic wildfires as well.
We elected a king.
California is a
We said,
wildfire
go in there
prone
to
area,
sign the shit and
ensuring
take
reliable,
power. Fuck
stable water supplies
Get
is
this shit
critical.
done.
So your leadership, your executive order,
He's doing it.
moving more
Doing
water,
exactly what we
maximizing
wanted.
flows
Give him a
throughout the state of
crown.
California, building more water storage,
If he takes
more
the
convenience,
income tax, give him a
coordinating
It would have a great impact on, I know your area very well. It would have an unbelievable impact on your area.
Absolutely. We just want to thank you for making it a priority.
You know, even beyond the fire stuff, the farms. I was driving up with congressmen a few years ago because they were complaining they had no water. And I was driving up, and you'll see all of this incredible land, but it's absolutely bone dry. And then you'll see little green patches, and the green patches are so beautiful. You know, they have that land, they say it's as good as Iowa farmland, but it has no water. And it's artificial, has no water. They send the water out into the Pacific Ocean. And when we let that water come through your valleys and down to Los Angeles and everything, you're going to have a different place. It's going to be a whole different place. And you guys have to get together and say, gee, we want it. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So at least you said that, and I appreciate it. Because your farmers will be able to, instead of having 1 acre out of 100, which is all they have, they'll be able to have 100 acres out of 100. And it's among the best. They say it's the best farmland just about in the country, as good as any place there is. So, but you can't, it's no good without water. So that's beyond the fire stuff. But today we're talking about fire, but it's good for everything. So I hope you can lead a group. And Daryl, if you can lead a group, I know how you feel. And, you know, support what I'm doing, because what I'm doing, I guess, is controversial. I don't know what's controversial about sending millions and millions of gallons of beautiful fresh water from the Pacific Northwest and further up than even that into an area that's bone dry. We have to, you know, I have a house in Beverly Hills, and you get notices every once in a while. They want you to go down to 38 gallons per person or something, per house, per person. I say, you mean you can only have, 38 gallons sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. And they want to do that every once in a while, and you just think it's ridiculous when you have like just about as much water as anybody in the country, and we shouldn't be in a position where you have tumbleweed that's dry as a bone that even tumbleweed can be nice and green and rich and loaded up with water, and it's not going to burn. You don't even have to remove it. It's not going to burn, but it's just dry. So I hope you can all get together and say, I'm so happy with the water that's going to be flowing down, because I just don't see anything. They talk about the Delta smelt, which is a fish that's this big, but it is really not, doesn't have to be protected because it's in other areas. It's in numerous other areas. So it doesn't have to be protected. The people of California have to be protected.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, could I just speak for a moment?
Kevin Kiley, California.
Yes.
First of all, you're absolutely right about the Coastal Commission. I've introduced legislation to rein them in. We've been talking with Rick about this.
They're out of control.
Absolutely out of control. It's insane the things they've been getting away with.
I think they thrive on it, actually, if you want to know the truth. It's so ridiculous.
That's right. They even tried to stop SpaceX from launching rockets.
That's true.
But you mentioned your predecessor and how he didn't fix the situation, which is absolutely right. Not only that, during the Calder fire, which was a few years ago, which was in my district, 600 people lost their homes in a town called Grizzly Flat. He came and he promised that he would help them out, but he broke that promise many times. He never delivered them the individual assistance they were asking for. So this has underscored for me the importance of helping the victims, making sure in this situation, in every fire, we get money to the victims, and we make sure that nothing stands in the way of that. But I just want to thank you for your focus on bringing sanity to California, water and fire policy. There's no place that needs a revolution in common sense quite like California.
You have so much water. Use it and be happy about it.
Mr. President,
be happy.
Mr. President, my name is Joel Pollack, and I am a journalist with Breitbart News, but I happen to live in the Pacific Palisades, as do other colleagues. One colleague, John Kahn, wrote the song Fighter, which you played at your campaign rallies. He lost his house and the studio he wrote that song in. We were lucky because I was able to fight the fire on my fence. But when I got to my house, there was no water in the pipes. So I got inside and I picked up the flower vases because I give my wife flowers every week, and there was water there, and we started with that. Then I found my son's bucket of baseballs, and I dumped the baseballs on the ground, and I used the bucket. But there was still no water, except for the water in the gutter coming from the burnt homes uphill. So I went to and fro to my gutter and my fence with my bucket. 2 guys showed up in a truck, 2 neighbors. We found 2 more buckets, bucket after bucket after bucket. Many of my neighbors, including some here, tried to fight the fires. They couldn't. We were lucky our house was saved. But we should not have to rely on buckets to put out a fire.
That's right.
You can't stop an 80-mile-per-hour wind or 100-mile-per-hour wind, but there were many things that went wrong here that are basic and small. We did not have traffic police to guide the evacuation, so there was gridlock on Sunset. They've removed the vehicles now, but there were dozens of vehicles that were abandoned by drivers who fled for their lives because there were no traffic cops available. The fire department wasn't pre-deployed, even though there was an extreme wind event coming. And many of my neighbors lost their fire insurance in the days before the blaze. So I asked my neighbors, what would they want to know if I could ask the president a question? And the number one thing was insurance. Can you work with the insurance companies to get people back to where they were before they lost the coverage because of California's regulations? And can you make California change its rules so that when we build again, we can get fire insurance and we don't have to worry? And there's one other point I want to make. I really appreciate my congressman advocating for money. We need the money from the federal government. But I also understand Americans who are tired of spending money on California and disasters happen, and the California government passes $50 million to oppose your policies. So they have $50 million for that, but not for moving people into rental homes or helping people relocate or rebuild. I would like to ask you to follow the 9/11 Commission precedent and appoint a special master to watch the money, to make sure that every federal dollar that gets spent here is spent on fire relief and rebuilding and not on everything else.
Good idea. Here's a good one right over here. I don't know if you, do we all like
He's
Rick?
very
He was
busy.
ambassador to Germany, He was fantastic. Angela Merkel's happiest day ever in her history, and she had a long history, was the day I removed him from there and put him in charge of a very high level of intelligence and intelligent people, but they were not intelligent enough to fool him. But Rick Grinnell has been fantastic, and he lives here. And I don't know if you want to either think about it or recommend some people, or get together and recommend some people as a group, which is fine. But Rick would be somebody that I would certainly consider. And Breitbart is fantastic, by the way. Congratulations on that. And I was so impressed with the firefighters I met before. And they said that, I asked them how many of the pumps, how many of the hydrants were working. And it was a, large percentage of them were not working at all. They had no water. And the ones that did have water didn't have a lot of pressure. And one of the things that was missing, many of you have sprinklers over your living room and your bathroom and your kitchen. I mean, if those sprinklers worked with some pressure, you would have had a much different outcome. So we're going to work on that. I think in terms of that, Rick Grinnell would be good, or Rick, you'll head up a group of people that would recommend a few people to me, maybe a commission, set up a commission. I like it because we're talking about a lot of money. The other one is Kelly Loeffler is now the head of small business, and small business is big business. It's actually one of the biggest banks in the world. We call it the Small Business Administration, and she's a cabinet member, full cabinet member. She's fantastic. Her husband is the head of the New York Stock Exchange, so they know something about money and other exchanges. Actually, fantastic people, and she wants to come here almost immediately after she gets approved. She wants to come here and open up small business to the area because they have a lot of money. I always say the small business is actually a very big business when you add it all up. And she's going to come here, and it's a very important thing. I want to thank also the First Lady because she wanted to come here. She wanted to be here. She has so many friends, and she also wanted to see North Carolina because that was another disaster that was so bad, so different, but so bad. And she just wanted to go there. We said we're going to stop at one, and then we're going to the other. In many respects, it was a depressing day, but in many respects, it was a beautiful day because the spirit is so incredible. North Carolina and here, very, very similar situation. So different and yet so similar, actually. And so I just thought it was very nice. You wanted to be here, and we appreciate that.
Jay?
Is that local? You gotta. I don't want to be the only one to give you permits like in one day, and then I find out that the cities, the towns, and the state is not going to give you permits. And the problem with permits, it only takes one. You might need 7 different permits. You shouldn't have any at this point. You should just let them build. And you're only as good as the weakest one. So if you have one that's going to hold you up, but the others are going to give it to you in 24 hours, it's not going to help you very much. So they have to work on that. It's what everybody said.
Well, and let me just tell you that we are going to do everything we can, slashing regulations, expediting everything so that people can begin the process right away. We have the Disaster Recovery Center on Pico and Westwood. We have building and safety there. People are already contacting the local agencies. We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught in the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room so that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we will clear the lots, absolutely, in the city and in the county. We are working together. Both levels of government are working in unity. Yes.
6 months is no
Exactly.
good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can.
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family.
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a
emergency
very powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit, and the permit's going to take them. Everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last night.
And that was last night.
On that. Right.
Mr. President, we're going to be together next week, and during the interim, many of us are involved in, and Tom McClintock, who you know has been an expert on this for years.
That's right.
We are going to be putting conditions on the money that do two things. Require that it be done timely and affordable, and then secondly, that we protect those who will come afterwards. As we speak, there are 6,000 acres burning in my district on the Mexican border. There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little
We're
things
gonna
like
do
water.
that for
You
them.
know, the party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I'm Jay Obernolte. My district is just a bit east of here.
Yep.
And you were talking about the need to better manage our forests and our wildlands to prevent this from happening again. And you were so right about that. Just last year, a couple months ago in October, they put out a fire. The line fire in my district was over twice as big as the Palisades fire. And they put it out less than a mile from my house in an area where we had done thinning, and they stopped the fire, Mr. President, on a fire break that we had built a couple of years ago.
That's right.
We have an area just on the other side of my community that hasn't been thinned in decades because it's being held up by a lawsuit from an environmental group that says we're going to reduce habitat. Mr. President, we need to, in addition to getting resources and boots on the ground to do this treatment, we need to reform our legal system to prevent these lawsuits from tying up these projects for years and years and years. And not to say that the merit shouldn't be heard, but we need to hear them and we need to move on, resolve them.
Is this a state group? State or federal group?
This is a local group, actually, Mr. President, but they have help from
Get
the
your
state.
ass out there with
Use
the
the
right.
environment to make themselves feel good, and they're destroying
Get your
our
ass out there with
country.
the right.
And you've got to, at some point, you've got to put your foot down. I know exactly what you're talking. You have local and state groups, and you have federal groups too. And you got to fight them the right way, because you'll never, even if the mayor gives, you're going to have a local group come in and sue. You're not allowed to go on your property. They're going to talk about asbestos and every other thing. They want to go on their property and they want to clean out their property. And you cannot let anything get in their way. And you'll have this place built up quickly, beautiful. It'll be more beautiful than before. And I would do one other thing. I'd give them a 10%, 15% bonus on their house, because they went through hell. And they should be allowed to build a little bit, give them a little bit lot line bonus, give them a bonus on size, maybe a little bonus on height. They went through hell. You know, some of them had houses where they were restricted. They have to have an 8-foot ceiling. You let them have a 10-foot ceiling. Let them build a nice house, a nicer house than they had before. But I would give them a 10 or a 15% bonus on their plans. And I think it would be very well received, because they'll be able to build a little bit nicer house. Do you like that idea, by the way? They deserve it. Because you know what? It's not their fault that this fire took place. This fire took place, could have been stopped. It's not their fault. It's not the homeowner's fault. And I think they should be entitled to a bonus on their house. Okay.
Mr. President.
Sir, go ahead.
Thank you. Some good news from Paradise. We stood together there 6 years ago, along with the governor.
That was so too.
That 3,400 homes have been rebuilt out of the 18,000 lost. And there's 400 more in the wings. And so FEMA was very helpful. Now my colleague who has Altadena here, probably a very similar situation. Clearing the lots, they're probably going to have to clear about a foot worth of soil underneath those foundations to get the toxicity out. So they'll need a lot of help. Those are working class folks in Altadena.
And we did a good job with you
And
people.
FEMA was extremely helpful.
Yep.
30,000.
That was the old days when FEMA was good. FEMA's no good anymore.
Yeah.
That was when we ran it. FEMA was very good, but now FEMA's not good.
We got to get them on track. But on the water, thanks so much for your strong efforts on that. Right now, Lake Shasta, which is in my district, is dumping more water than what is coming in. So is Folsom Lake. And those are federal projects that should be building up, because we're latter January here. And you can't count on the rain and the snow coming every year. And so if we don't fill those projects, then my colleague in San Joaquin Valley isn't going to get his water for his farmers. Well, it might be all right up in the north. They aren't going to get it. And then the water needs to go through aqueduct for Southern Cal to refill maybe the Santa Ynez Reservoir that was empty during this.
You know, you don't even need reservoirs. With the water coming down, you don't need the reservoir. You have so much water, you don't need it. You only have reservoirs because you're trying to hold water. But you have natural water coming down along the coast. It's for a million years it's been coming. You know that, right?
Yeah.
In addition to that, you have a lot of half pipe. In other words, you have the half pipe that's built, and it hasn't been used. You see, it's bone dry. No water's been in that half pipe for years and years. It was closed up years ago.
Had the reservoir,
It's already there. Yeah.
Had
You
the
got it,
reservoir above Palisades been full, they wouldn't have run out of water in a few hours. It would have gone for at least a few days with 40 acre feet out of 600,000.
That reservoir's been empty for a long time.
Yep.
It shouldn't have been empty. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, please.
Mr. President, my name is Tracy Park. I represent the people of the Pacific Palisades on the LA City Council. I wanted to thank you for your loyal support to our military, our police officers, and especially our firefighters.
Thank you. Thank you.
My top priority going forward is to get these men and women home as soon as possible and open up the pathway to begin their rebuilding process. It was the Army Corps of Engineers who announced last night that it would be 18 months. I am fully committed to doing my part on the ground with our state agencies and our city and our county partners to speed this up.
Good.
I just ask for your ongoing partnership with FEMA and the EPA and our other federal agencies to make sure that we have a commitment across all layers of government to get these people back home. Thank you, sir.
I do. Thank you very much. It's well said. I do have to say FEMA is a big disappointment. We had it working well. We had great people, but FEMA is not good anymore. What FEMA did in North Carolina, they still haven't even gone to certain areas. They don't know what they're doing. And I say, you don't need FEMA. You need a good state government. And when you have a problem in Los Angeles, or when you have a problem even in the state of California, you have your own, essentially FEMA. You fix it yourself. You don't have somebody coming in from a state where they have no idea, like Florida. They come in from hurricanes. They have people staying in Alaska, and now they see, oh, this is very nice. But by the time they get familiar with it, they don't know anything. The FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. We had great people. We did some great jobs, but each state should take care of their problem and get money from the federal government. It would be so much better, so much more efficient. So we're looking at that. Because we have had, and you're going to have problems with FEMA too. You've already had problems with FEMA. FEMA doesn't even show up. It takes weeks before they even show up. And what happens is the state then relies on FEMA, and nobody does anything because FEMA doesn't show up. So it's not a good situation. So we'll make some recommendations on that. But you have to push like hell to get the permits, because I'm just hearing things that I don't like to hear. I think you're not going to get your permits as fast as people are saying. We have to get them. And Mayor, if I can help you at all in that regard, you'll let me know. But you're going to have all your federal permits. That's going to be the easy part, which, by the way, is by far the hardest part. You know who controls your water is Department of Commerce, and I already have that approval. And that's usually a very long process, but that's the hard part was the federal, but we already have that done. So anything I can do, please let me know. Please, go ahead. You lost all your schools. You lost four. You lost your four schools.
What the?
Were they completely burned down, the schools? Wow. All of them? All of them?
For that
No,
to
you
go,
can't.
because we can't
No.
live there if there's no schools. So that's an area where we would love your help and support. I love the idea of having some, local council that can use those federal dollars, implement them quickly into rebuilding those areas.
Well, I'm going to ask Rick to set, I think right from this table, you might put a couple of the fire guys back there on that I just met, okay? Because they're really good. But get a group and figure out how we can do the processing faster.
Mr. President, if I can just defend FEMA a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought thousands of people in. I don't know how they're doing in other states. They're doing a good job for us here. They've got a huge center that's open from 9 in the morning till 8 at night. But also, when you have a disaster this size, you need to be able to deploy thousands of people, which they've been able to do. Now, California, if we did it on our own, maybe we'd have thousands of people.
You do.
But if Rhode Island has a Palisades disaster, are they then supposed to keep thousands?
How many people do you have in California? 36? How many million? How many million people do you have? You have 40 million people. You're not going to get a few thousand people. The problem with FEMA is they come from all over the country. They end up in arguments with your people from California because they want to do it a totally different way. And I can live either way, but you haven't gotten very much done with FEMA and all you have to do is look at North Carolina. It's one of the great disasters of all time.
And Mr. President, you can't have Rhode Island maintain a staff of thousands and thousands of people waiting to see if they have a disaster.
You know who came in and fixed North Carolina or the process? Other states, people from all over the country came. And you have the same thing. You have a lot of people from all over the country. Getting the people is not a problem. Getting the organization's a big problem. FEMA's incompetently run, and it costs about 3 times more than it should cost.
I'm hoping
we
that
can
you
spend
can get
money
a
on
better run.
schools instead of giving money to bureaucracy. It takes you so much longer.
Mr. President,
It takes you so much longer.
FEMA for helping our people.
FEMA has a standard, Brad, and I'm a builder. I was a very good builder. FEMA has a standard that's so slow. They want permit on permit on permit, and then they want permits on top of that. If you use FEMA, you'll be here for a long time. What I'm saying is get the city, get the state to give you immediate 24-hour permits. These people are going to build their own homes. They're going to get them built fast. How many of the people, could I ask you one question? How many of the people, what are people going to do for financing? What are people going to do? How many people can build a home, percentage-wise, like where they don't have to go out and get funds? Some people are just not going to be able to rebuild their home because they have a beautiful home, but they don't have cash, right? So what are people looking to do in that case? You're going to have a big percentage, I would assume, Brad, like that. What are they going to do? Go ahead.
Mr. President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a half $1 million
you did something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And
Brad, me,
every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know what
I'll
you
tell
know
you this,
about my thinking.
I've never seen a state where almost nobody has insurance. And I said, what happened? And they said like 6 months ago, they all left. And 2 years ago, they had different, quadrants, but they left. And you have very little insurance here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
We had a lot of insurance companies pull out, but I have no idea.
And the insurance companies actually have been warning you. Now, I'm not a big fan of insurance companies, okay? They have their big drawbacks too, but the insurance company, I read the papers very well, and they've been warning California for a long time. They've also been saying, we want water. You don't have water. You're supposed to get fire insurance. And the insurance company goes, you don't have any water in your fire hydrants. So it's a tough situation. I'm not a big fan of insurance companies. I get that.
They're pulling out of Florida
Brad,
as
you
well.
lost your insurance company 6 months ago because the state wouldn't give them what they had to have.
Yeah. And Mr. President, I remember the
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I'm Ed Ring from the California Policy Center, and in the matter of prevention of fires, in the matter of the cost of rebuilding, both of which affect insurance rates, I think one, to support something one of the other participants said, a reform you might consider, and it could be an act of Congress, is that the losers in environmentalist lawsuits pays the legal fees. And I think that would be a big step in the right direction.
Oh, you mean loser pays. I love that. Well, if you did loser pays, you could cut your courts in you could cut them down about 90%. Loser pays. You know what would also benefit? Medical. If you had loser pays for medical, your medical costs would go down by 50%. That's an interesting thing. I bring that up, but the only problem, the strongest lobby in the world, you know what it is? The lawyer lobby. So when you go back to your local congressman, hello, congressman, how about going against the lawyers for a little while? No, loser pay is, very good. In Europe, they use it in certain parts of Europe, and they have very little litigations, right? Yes, please.
Mr. President, I represent the 27th Congressional District, which is on the north side of the North San Fernando Valley through Santa Clarita and Lancaster and Palmdale. I just wanted to tell you a story of heroism. Yesterday, we had another big fire. We had several big fires across, and this fire was moving fast. It was moving 1,000 feet per minute. But what these heroes did, the firefighters and the sheriffs and the law enforcement officials, they mobilized 4,000 people within about 6 hours. They mobilized 20 air attack aircraft and helicopters, and they saved the city of Castaic. And so I just wanted to ask you to join us in recognizing those amazing heroes.
I love that.
I think the thing that we all, and I'm very encouraged by your words, we're all here to help the folks here.
Yep,
right?
That's right.
And your words about building quickly, building well, but building quickly is what I think we are all here to do. And I think if we can take that spirit out of today, it is really important that you and your wife are here. If we can take that spirit, we're going to help these people as quickly as possible, get them back on their feet, and recreate these amazing communities that we have here.
And you'll take the word spirit, such a great word, such an important word. You'll take their guts away. You'll take their spirit away if you don't give them the permits. You're going to take their guts. They're going to say, all of a sudden they'll start looking for houses, and your whole thing is going to blow up on you. These people want to get going. This place can go quickly, but you don't want to take their spirit away, and that will take their spirit away. So you're 100% right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
My in-laws lost their home. I want to make you aware of something that I know you know a thing or two about, which is interest rates. The banks, when the insurance company gives you the check on the name of the mortgage company and you, they offer you 2% interest on that money. The treasuries are 4%.
Right.
They're expanding their net interest margin on the back of fire victims. Could you please, just like you talked to the CEO of Bank of America.
Oh, you noticed that. Oh, look at this guy. He studies that. No, Bank of America, they're not nice. Sounds very nice. The Bank of America, they're not nice.
Would you please tell the banks to pay us Treasury for the money that the insurance sets aside?
Well, we're doing numbers on banks, yeah. We're doing it. Is that Leonard Boxer next to you? Leonard? Huh? We have Leonard and we have, there's Skip. I have them all here, huh? Look at Skip. I haven't seen you in a long time. You used to be a very good golfer. You still a good golfer? Huh? And he's a good guy, too. Hi, Skip. You got them all, huh? Got Leonard, Skip. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, I just wanted to say Paradise is coming back because of the help that you gave us. And we really want to thank you for that. And that's why we're here also, is because we want to help our
We did a good job with Paradise, didn't we? What a fire that was.
It was a terrible
we
fire.
had many people were found, and only the certain type of German Shepherd could even find it, right? You could not tell. The dog would go right up. There's the body. And the incineration was so horrible. So horrible.
And when we see the same devastation.
So Paradise is going good, right?
It's going good. We're coming back.
Yeah,
And it's because of the help, and we want to help our brothers and sisters here in LA to come back too. And I know that's what you're going to do. And so we really appreciate that. But from Paradise to the Palisades, the problem is fuel. It's the fuel, the vegetation, the dry grasses, the chaparral. There's a tremendous amount of it, and we're not.
You got to remove it. You got to remove it, and you got to remove it, and you got to do the other things that we've said 10 times. I mean, you got to remove it. You just can't have it. I see it even now. I saw the fire. We flew over it, and you got a lot of dry stuff. It's bone dry.
And the environmental.
And I predicted this 7 years ago. I said, do it, get it done. And everybody laughed. They thought it was. I said, forest management. They thought it was such a funny term. Ha ha ha. That's so funny. Now it's not funny anymore, we were right.
It's number one cause of these fires, number one cause.
You wouldn't have any fires.
Right. And if we just remove those environmental regulations, NEPA, CEQA at the state level, they get in the way of us doing those projects.
It's all a con job, that, right? It's all
Berry
a
Creek,
big con
the
job.
town of Berry Creek in my district.
Yeah.
CEQA stopped them from doing a fuel reduction project. They said 18 months. That's where 18 months comes from, because at least 18 months on a CEQA review. That community is no longer here today because of the North Complex fire. We didn't build that project. We need to make sure that never happens again. We have to stop those things from happening so we don't have.
Well, it will happen here
Palisades.
Unless you're very strong as a group of people and demand that you have the right to go onto your property and start the process immediately, like tomorrow. How many people did I see on your street where they're standing in front of their lot? The house there's really not much demolition. It's incinerated, right? So it's not like a lot of stuff. It's not like you have 3 stories worth of concrete. It's all incinerated. And all of the people were standing there and they weren't allowed to even go onto their lot. You got to let them do. If you can do that, you're going to see this thing go like wildfire. And if you don't, you're going to have those lots for years because people are going to leave. They're going to, as much as you love your location and your place, and you're in the real estate business, as much as you love your location and your site, your housing sites, they're going to leave. They're going to leave. They're going to find other things. They're not going to put up with it. They have spirit now, but in a year from now, they won't have spirit if you don't let them go. So just harness it. Well, I think, look, I'm going to give you everything you want. I'm going to give you more than any president would have ever given you. If most presidents wouldn't be here, number one, they certainly wouldn't be here after 3 days. They would not be here. I can tell you that. And we're going to override all of permitting. The only thing you have to do is get your state people, which should be very easy, because that's literally so easy to do. And I know the mayor, and I know she's working very hard, but she's got very powerful emergency. It's called an emergency petition, and you can petition very quickly. And I just hope you can give them, because it's very rare that the federal government would be ahead of the state government, because the federal permits are much tougher. But you essentially already have your permits. You can just go and go wild. Brad, as soon as you can get those permits, whatever you can do, if you can put that genius of yours to work on getting a permit, you'll be doing much better than some of the other things you've said, okay? But we do appreciate you. So, Mayor, could I just leave you with that? It's a big permitting deal. We're going to be back, and I'm going to put Rick in charge of just representing me for a period of time until we figure out exactly who we want to do it, whether we want a commission or an individual. You know, if you have a good individual, if you have a really good individual, and they are rare, but if you have a really good individual, it's always better than a commission, because a commission gets bogged down a little bit, Daryl, right? So it's if you had the right individual. And I know we do. We have a lot of great individuals in this community, but it's an honor to be with you. It was an honor to be with your firemen before and your policemen. We met some great people, and these are people that are leaders, and they're just fantastic. It's a fantastic group of people, and they were very brave. I want to tell you, your fire people are so well thought of. You had big fires, and it was hard to put them out, but boy, were they brave. They were really fighting against a tough thing, and everybody in the country knows it. Everybody in the country knows it. And it was an honor to be with you. So I'll be back, and we'll work very hard, and I hope you guys can start doing your cleanup starting like tomorrow at around 12 o'clock, okay? Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Destroyed those nerds. I'm going